In this episode, we talk a lot about cloud costs and cloud security, but not only, so stay tuned. And we start from the news, and the first news is about Elon Musk and his companies and the way I cannot stop laughing. The news is quite old today, but I still cannot stop laughing. So Musk said he will ban all Apple devices in his buildings, in his companies. Oh wait, come on. Let's be serious now, okay? So here I have information from Fortinet Report 2024 Cloud Security, and they said that the company is reducing the budgets for cloud adoptions, but increasing the budgets for cloud security. So it is good news and I can say that bad news in one. But anyway, this is something what is going on. Okay, let's jump to cloud news, and the first news will be from Terraform, from HashiCorp, from Terraform. The AWS provider for Terraform reached 3 billion of downloads, so it shows how popular Terraform and AWS is, because the number is really huge. Just count the zeros there, it's a lot. Okay, from sad news, probably Alibaba closes data centers in Australia and India. They said they will not do it, they are doing it. So, well, what we can say here? I don't think we can say much. Do you remember the Ticketmaster breach? And I know that this is about the cloud part, but still I think this is quite important to mention here, because we know more and more, and security experts said that the more details will come, it will be more and more clear what hackers really gained there, because it looks like it's not only Santander and Ticketmaster, it's something bigger. We will see. Another interesting topic, and this is kind of connected with my guest, which will be here a little bit later. Serverless cloud technology fades away. This is the title of the article in InfoWord. Well, whatever you agree or not to this, I disagree, like almost 100%. There are a couple of things which are quite interesting in this article. I don't think that this author is looking on this from the proper perspective, and I know how it sounds. I'm not saying that I'm so great that I can tell anyone how to look on serverless, but still I don't think that he is right about serverless, not in 100%. And the link to the article is in the description or in the comments, so if you like, go there, read it, and share your opinion with me in the comment section below, or somewhere there in this video, depends what kind of layout you are using. AWS news now, and the first one will be the AWS Sovereign Cloud. So first of all, this is this is very interesting topic, and this was announced by AWS some time ago, I think 2 years or something. And if you think what it is, you can think about like a government region in US for AWS, more or less, okay? Probably less than more, but think about this in that way. They announced recently that they will pump almost $8 billion into AWS Sovereign Cloud. So this is something what starts to have a shape, really. They claim that it will be launched in 2025, somewhere in the end of the year. We'll see. Hopefully it will happen. And for the services which will be there, they said that there will be SageMaker, Q, Bedrock, EC2, Lambda, Kubernetes Service, EKS, right? Elastic Container Service, ECS, Aurora, DynamoDB, RDS, VPC, of course, KMS, so Key Management Service, Private Certificate Authority, S3, Elastic Block Store, EBS, And of course they will have dedicated IAM, so identity and access management, billing and usage metering systems. So this will be independent of from the all other systems. And the first region for this sovereign cloud should be created in Germany. So let's hope it will happen very soon. This very soon means like 1.5 years from now, but well, time passes very quickly. All right, next AWS news, EventBridge new dashboard. So we have new dashboards in EventBridge which can centralize the view of the resources, metrics, quotas, and so on and so on and so on. I didn't check it yet. If you did, please let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. It is better, it is worse, whatever you think, I'll be happy to hear it. Another news, like almost the last one, AWS IAM Access Analyzer. Right now, Access Analyzer can help you to identify and tell you what to do with unused accesses. Okay, so far it was able to analyze the existing accesses and how wide the access is. Right now you can check also the unused accesses. I think this is very important element and I'm looking forward to check it. And finally, the last one about AWS, or maybe I lie, we'll see. So Anthropic Claude 3.5 Sonnet is available in the AWS or Amazon Bedrock. So this is the most intelligent model so far, at least this is claimed that way. And it is available in North Virginia only at this point, today at least. This is the strongest model, strongest vision model, and as they said, it can accurately interpret charts, graphs, transcribe text from imperfect images, and additionally, when instructed and provided with the relevant tools, Sonnet can independently write and edit code with sophisticated reasoning and troubleshooting capabilities. Let's check it. But I don't believe that our developers' lives are ended right now. Not this day, not today, not tomorrow, even with Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Alright, I'd like to go swiftly to security, but in order to do that, I need to touch AWS again. So this will be like a really soft transition. So how secure is AWS? Because this is a very important element, and all clouds really spend a lot of efforts and a lot of money to make their offering secure. But as Datadog recently published in the blog, well, it is more like an article and like almost white paper, I would say. They found some time ago, they found a surface, the attack surface through the non-production endpoints, and this is very important. Non-production. For production, everything was fine. They identified 2 new endpoints at the time, which can bypass the cloud trail. And those endpoints was CE, get cost and usage, and Route 53 resolver, list firewall configs. That happened some time ago, as I said. And Datadog cooperated very closely with AWS to fix this, and it is fixed also some time ago. The article was published recently. What else we can say? So what was possible in this misconfiguration, breach, whatever? The research highlights that attackers can exploit misconfiguration and vulnerabilities in these non-production endpoints, often overlooked in security measures to gain unauthorized access, escalate privileges, and potentially compromise production environments. So even if it was non-production endpoints, it's still important for the production security. Anyway, the link to this article will be in the comment or the description section. Please go there and read it, because this is very good read. And as I said, now everything is secure, and for this is secured, closed, and done some time ago. Okay, so the security section, finally the official security section, and I have quite a list today. So Fortinet, I mentioned the report before, but right now we can say that Fortinet flow was exploited by China-backed hackers. They say that 20,000 systems globally are infected, and the CVE for it is, stay with me, 2022-42476. So it's nothing new. It's 2 years old right now already, right? The report said that hackers knew the flaw at least 2 months earlier than Fortinet disclosed the vulnerability. And we know that the impact was bigger than previously expected, because the flaw was published earlier as well. During the 0 day, they said about 14,000. So right now we know about 6,000 systems more than before. And to remember that this attack was done against the Western governments. Why Westerns? It's obvious. Against defense industries and so on. Remember one more thing. This is the edge device. Critical for your internal network security. Okay? Regression or RegreSSHion. Something very interesting. New, but not that new. That's why it is called regression or RegreSSHion or whatever, I don't know. The vulnerability in SSH server classified under CVE 2024-6387, and as it is registered right now, it is really the old vulnerability. And now, please sit down, because the original CVE number is 2006-5051. 2006, okay? Looks like old vulnerability which was fixed some time ago came back. There is a working exploit for it, of course, as you can expect. And it allows attacker to do an unauthenticated remote code execution. Thank you very much. Now, please be seated again. Over 14 million potentially vulnerable systems are open to internet with the versions of SSH server which is vulnerable. Harvest time for hackers, really, or script kiddies. Right, another news, Kaspersky. Probably some of you already know, in long time ago it was very, very popular antivirus software. Right now I don't think they are that popular, at least not in the whole world, let's say this way. And Kaspersky is blocked in US right now. The decision was taken by the Department of Commerce Bureau of Industry and Security. And personally, I can say it's right about the time. It should be done much earlier, okay? So Kaspersky is backed by the Russian government, and that's enough. It explains everything, really. OpenAI. So it is not new, but we have new information about that. So more than 1 year ago, where this boom, the hype about the ChatGPT and so on was so high, the breach happened there. And the attackers gain access to the internal forums or the discussion tool, whatever. Not to the code of OpenAI, not to the code of ChatGPT, not to the a discussion stored or not stored there, but to the internal forum. What else? We don't know yet, or now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to say, but I remember when we did the podcast where with a couple of great people we discussed OpenAI, ChatGPT, and we had ChatGPT as a guest. We also mentioned security, that this is very important. And also in one of my podcast episodes, I told you about the Samsung case and sharing internal sensitive information with ChatGPT. Another breach, this time Twilio. 33 millions of phone numbers were stolen from Twilio. Okay, in fact from Authy, so the two-factor authentication app created by Twilio, owned by Twilio, maybe not created but owned by Twilio. and in most cases those numbers were used for MFA. So yeah, and as I found in the articles, and now really, if you didn't sit earlier, sit now. Please be seated and fasten your seatbelts, because the breach was caused by, let me say this clearly, unauthenticated endpoints. Yes, in the API there was an unauthenticated endpoint, and the breach was possible because of that. So this shows again how important are the security tests, the pen tests, the properly done pen tests, not the pen test to have like a clear white paper signed by someone. Okay, if I receive the pen tests where I have like 10, 5 or none potential risks, I just throw it away. It's not useful. Let's go to the more optimistic section for the end of the news. And I want to talk to you about observability and Datadog again. So OpenTelemetry, which is the open source tool set and the ways approach to implement observability in your platforms. So Datadog has this tool set for it now, and to be precise, the embedded hotel collector is now in Datadog agent, and this is really good news, because Datadog is very popular tool out there, and hotel collector is something what will really help to build the proper observability into your platforms using Datadog as a monitoring system. So that is perfect thing. All right, so that was the news section, and now I'd like to say a few words about incoming conferences, which I believe are very important. So two of them are like well known. So reInvent will happen in the beginning of December, right? So the biggest AWS conference, one of the biggest conferences in this industry in the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, US. KubeCon will happen in the middle of November, so the biggest CNCF conference. It will happen also in US, in Salt Lake City. Then we have smaller things like DevOpsCon Munich. It will happen, unfortunately, in the same time like reInvent. We have also BitConf in Poland. So yeah, I'm based in Poland, so why not to say anything about Poland. Together with B-Sides in Krakow. BitConf is in Bydgoszcz, B-Sides is in Krakow. Day by day, like 13th of September is BitConf, 14th of September is B-Sides. And finally, on the 10th of October, we'll have All Day DevOps. This is the biggest online DevOps conference ever, I think. And if you heard all day, it is really all day. There are 5 or 7 tracks right now, and they go with the sun the whole day. Okay, so if you want to watch all talks from this conference, reserve like a week or even more for it. It's a great place to start your adventure with public speaking, really. And I will speak on BitConf on 13th of September, and probably I will speak also on DevOps and Agile Summer Retreat, more like a meetup-ish thingy in Riga, in Latvia. I sent my CFP, of course, to All Day DevOps. Probably I will do it besides as well. I don't know how I will manage it, because it is one day after another. And also I plan to send something to reInvent. We'll see. I will be surprised if I will be selected, but it will be really great. All right. It was the news section, and that's enough for today with the news, and I think it was a lot of them already. Let's talk about funny stuff, and honestly speaking, I wanted to find something really amusing for you, to show you something similar like as last time. And when I went through the internet, I found something what I forgot, but I used, maybe this is too big word, but I played with that long time ago, like I think 10 years or something. It's quite of interesting IT-ish project, because there is some neural machine learning connected to that, at least its claim it is. And when I found it again a few days ago, I just wanted to check if this works. So, well, this check process took like 1 hour or longer. See it, watch it, enjoy it, and try by yourself. For sure, when if you have tablet or the touchable screen, it will be easy to be better than me using the mouse on the screen. But anyway, enjoy.
I see spoon. Or shoe. Oh, I know, it's sleeping bag. I see green bean. Or shoe. Or spoon. Oh, I know, it's popsicle. I see shoe. Or zigzag. Or anvil. Or raccoon. Or boomerang. Oh, I know, it's dragon. Oh, I know, it's hockey puck. Oh, I know, it's bed. I see finger. Or animal migration. Or face. I see long hair. Or curly hair. Oh, I know, it's penguin.
The tools section. So we had the fun, now we will be serious with the tools. In this episode, I'd like to show you the security tool for the Terraform, for the infrastructure as code. I told you on the beginning that this episode will be strongly related to security. So I'd like to introduce you to the tool called TFSec. Okay, right now this tool is owned by Aqua, and the functionality is implemented into 3V. Still, TFSec is available as a separate tool. I don't know for how long it will be that way, but as it is so popular still right now, not that popular as I wish really, but it is a popular thing. 3V is also very popular. I will do the 2 videos about TFSec and 3V as well soon, hopefully. But right now you can see on this video how to install TFSec and how to run the scans and what we can get from the scans. And this is very quick, I mean it, very quick review what is possible with TFSec. And I really encourage you, use tools like this for check your quality, for check the security of your templates, because this is really important. Do you remember when I said about unauthorized access to non-protected endpoint? Yeah. There is a possibility that TFSec or tools like that will be able to catch it. Okay, now the creme de la creme of this episode. So the interview with my guest. Today I have the pleasure to present you Pawel Zubkiewicz, who is the AWS hero, very popular person in Polish AWS community, very interested, deeply interested in cost reductions and cost managements for the AWS cloud. He even created some time ago the tool for it called CloudPouch, and we talk about CloudPouch, we talk about cost optimization, we talk about the costs of the cloud, how to deal with them, and a little bit about FinOps as well. Enjoy the interview. It will be like very short part here in this videocast. Rest of it, the full episode, is available under the link somewhere. I believe you are intelligent, you can find it. And then we have the full discussion and full demo of the application. I'm here with Pawel Zubkiewicz. Thank you very much, Pawel, for your time and taking my invitation. It's really a pleasure to talk with you here today because we have a couple of interesting topics, and the main topic for today will be related to FinOps, but your application which you created a few years ago, I think, and you're still developing it, and it's better and better and better. And I even started to, recommend your application to other people. Companies and things like that. So, who is Pawel? Pawel is a former community builder, AWS hero, creator of Serverless newsletter in Poland, and of course, author of CloudPouch. And probably you will not agree with me, but I will say it, very, very important person in the AWS community landscape in Poland. So once again, thank you very much, Pawel, for joining me today.
Thank you, Pawel, for inviting me. It's a great pleasure. There was some long time since I recorded meeting like that, so a little bit, excited, mix of excitement, a little bit afraid, but it's really nice to talk about AWS and what is my passion. So serverless probably a little bit and cost optimization. Yeah, I'm a strange person. I like doing this.
Yes, sure. And serverless somehow leads to cost optimization, right?
Yeah. So if I may interject. So for
sure,
me,
of course,
it was from the very beginning. And I started learning about AWS Cloud in 2016. So it was like I was already, professional IT person working in IT for many years. And in 2016, I just decided that I need to change my career and decided that cloud is the best direction for me. And AWS Cloud won the battle. At the very beginning, I started with Azure, but later I changed to AWS. And at this time, I wanted to create a small startup with my friend. We both had background in Java enterprise development. So we wanted to have Java servers and whole application running in AWS. And very soon, at the very beginning of, touching AWS, it became to me apparent that this is extremely expensive for a side project. It was like, let's say, $300 per month just to have the proper enterprise environment for our application. So I started investigating other options, and I found serverless framework, and I started learning about serverless architecture. Long story short, I was able to write everything using serverless tools available at the time back then. And this really, changed how I look at cloud, because from the very beginning, I had to be frugal. That's the word I learned last year during the reInvent and Dr. Werner Vogel's keynote. Basically, for those who don't know this word, I didn't know it. I had to check it during his presentation. It means that you don't overspend, that you think about cost, and that you choose right components, not only because of the technical aspects or characteristics, but also because of how much they cost. And for me, this was very natural because of my private project, and it really created me in a way that I always thinking about cost whenever I'm doing something new or changing the existing application. So yes, serverless and cost optimization are really tangled together, at least in my head.
Sure, that's a very good explanation, really, and thank you for sharing your story here. I wonder, just to jump for a second to serverless, because you said you started in 2016, and I remember those times. By the way, I remember the day where S3 went down, and it was like a huge problem. It was really the internet was down, right, at the time. But at that time, really, serverless was not that well optimized, right? Especially in terms of cold start and so on. And was it like a problem for you at the time?
In my personal project, it wasn't, because cold start was something that we accepted. It was a trade-off with the cost, because we were able to save so much money. Basically, we were running it for free, which is excellent, great, right? Even
It's good
nowadays.
price, yes.
Yeah, and when I was starting, just to give you the context, Lambda function cannot be invoked by SQSQ. So you had to run your Lambda function on a schedule, and each time Lambda function had to connect to SQS and check if there are any messages. So one of the biggest announcements that I still remember was introduction of pulling and having SQSQ as an automated trigger to Lambda functions. So that was really long time ago, and serverless right now is a really mature technology. To be honest, a little bit boring because of it. It's really hard to imagine new things that are necessary right now to build robust enterprise level applications. Basically, there is almost everything that you can imagine. Of course, there's still room for improvement, and AWS is doing this. You mentioned the cold start. So this is something which is actually great about serverless, because I, as a client, I'm doing nothing, and AWS is improving how my application works. Of course, there is some kind of knowledge how to build Lambda functions, not to put a lot of dependencies, etc. So there is also responsibility on me as a programmer. But once I do it properly, with the time, AWS will improve their side, and the result is that the application is working better, it scales better, it's faster, and I don't have to invest any of my time. So that's
Sure.
amazing still.
Yeah, that is correct. And I agree with you that for now, today, and don't get us wrong, for now, today, serverless is a little bit boring. That's the fact, right? And yeah, so let's stop talking about boring things, and
Okay.
let's talk a little bit about your community involvement, because you were the community builder in AWS Community Builder program. Now you are AWS hero. You do a lot of another things like talks, being on conferences, speaking on meetups, and so on and so on. How you find yourself in this community life? Because I believe you like it because you do it, but
So on a personal note, I really like public presentations. So that's one ticked box for me. And also I like sharing knowledge. I guess I like teaching people. And back then, when serverless was really exciting and it was new thing, there was this need to like showing it to the people. So that's why I got involved. On the other hand, I started my career many years ago, and around 2009, I was a leader of Wrocław Java user group. It's still there, so hi guys, if anyone is watching this. So for me, like being in a community and sharing your knowledge, learning from others, attending conferences was always part of this job, a huge part of this job. And I guess there's also this aspect of giving you like the good morale, the boost that sometimes at work you're doing boring stuff that it's like you are not proud of it, but that's the reality of life. And whenever you are down because of it, when you attend a conference and start hearing about new technologies or great projects that people did, it's like good. For me, at least, it's like I am never envy in a bad way about other people's successes. So it's more like they motivate me. Oh, if they had great project or they have used this technology on production and it's working, that means I can do it as well. I just need to, I don't know, work more or look for better opportunities. But this always motivates me. And it's still, sometimes people are asking me, why do you like to go to reInvent? And this is one of the things, because it motivates me for the next year. This is excellent conference, by the way, but also on a personal level, it really gives me a lot of this energy for staying current, which is hard job, by the way, with the technology within AWS. So,
oh yes, that is true, and I cannot agree more with you. And to those who are watching this, from the audience perspective, being on Pawel's talk and saw a couple of Paweł talks, really worth to attend. Really
thank you.
good and really enjoyable, and a lot of knowledge is there. So yeah, if you have the opportunity, go there. So after this, I think we need to find a bigger room for you during the AWS Community Day next year. Anyway, let's go to the most interesting part, really, when we will connect FinOps with your work, and we will share the things and how your software works in terms of helping people to better organize and better understand their costs in AWS environment. Because you are author of CloudPouch. I remember how it started, like a small side project, I think. I don't know if you had this in mind that it will become such tool. And I remember that you gradually started to add new features, new services to be analyzed, and so on and so on and so on. So tell us, please, how it came to your mind that you want to create this, and where you are with the product now.
Okay, so this application started in 2021, and I'm still developing it and adding new functionalities, after hours. So this is from the, perspective of doing a startup. This is bootstrapping. I'm an indie developer. I'm doing it all alone. There is no funding, nothing. So everything there is only my knowledge inside of it. And I started this application because I wanted to learn about the costs for a particular client of mine. And Cost Explorer wasn't good enough, in my opinion. And over the years, by the way, Cost Explorer, of course, evolved and it's much, much better, but still CloudPouch offers some perspectives, or at least usability, which in my opinion are better than Cost Explorer. So first, I wanted to be able to see those costs in a better way. So I wanted to have predefined reports, so I will not have to click around in Cost Explorer every time that I want to see something. Next, I wanted to be able to collate like current month with previous month and 6 months to see some kind of patterns, whether we are paying more, we are paying less. And after having this, I wanted to also see this divided by different services. So we have EC2 instances, we have databases, we have DynamoDB, etc. So I wanted to see, because this total number, it can only tell you whether we are moving up or down in terms of cost, but you don't have information what is driving the change, whether this is good change or bad change. doesn't matter. This is another information. So I incorporated all of this, added some, dynamic charts. So you're clicking on some colorful bar and the table is filtering, stuff like that. So the slogan of the CloudPouch is see, understand, reduce AWS costs. So at the very beginning, it was according to the slogan. I wanted to give people visibility so they can see. And later on, I started noticing that I really don't understand everything around the costs. So in AWS cost, there is this term which is called usage type. So each AWS service have a list of usage types. So for example, when you have S3, you have usage type that defines how much storage you have over time in your S3 bucket. But there is another usage type that is responsible for calculating the costs of each request to your files on S3 bucket. Of course, in S3 bucket, there are probably a few hundred usage types. And in all AWS, I would say 10,000 different usage types altogether. By the way, don't check this number. It's like random from my head, but it is a huge number. And AWS is not really good in explaining those usage types. Up till this day, there are some usage types which are really not documented at all. And it's even hard to get the information from support, what they are really and how are calculated. But basically, moving back to CloudPouch. So for those usage types which were described, I just taken the information from AWS documentation and I put it in the CloudPouch. So now when you are looking at the cost of your particular service, let's say S3, you see the explanations of each usage type, which allows you to understand better for what you are paying. And for me, this is like the chain. First, you need to see the cost, then you need to understand them. And, understanding the usage types, it's crucial. Later on, you can start optimizing. And those things that allow you to find optimizations were added into the application as a last step. Because at the beginning, I didn't even know how to optimize some things. It started naturally. Someone asked me to, focus on this particular area of the system and try to identify ways of saving money. And now I have, experience, and a lot of this experience have been coded into some kind of automations in the CloudPouch. So now you're just clicking a button, and after a few seconds, for example, you have a list of RDS databases which are not used because no one is connecting to those databases for over 14 days. That's my cutoff day. If you don't connect to the database over 2 weeks, that means it is not used. So what you should do is just snapshot it and turn it off, delete it, because AWS is starting it again after 1 week, so you will still pay for it after 1 week. So that's one thing to do it. The other things is like recently, 2 days ago, I added right sizing recommendations for EC2 servers. So whenever you have server, usually they are over provisioned. So instead of having the huge instance, maybe you should go with a smaller instance. Maybe you should go with the instance that have the same amount of RAM, but worse processor, which means it is cheaper, but still more than good enough for this current workload that you are having. And this allows you to save a lot of money. And I have, around 15 different ways of automatically finding some waste, which means idle or misconfigured resources. So, for example, snapshots of databases that are no longer with you. In some of the cases, this is not needed anymore. Also, popular things is ECR. So you are uploading images of containers, and you don't have to have the history of all your images, but you are paying for storage. Also, storage there's S3, but with S3 it's a little bit harder. But let's move maybe to one of the first cost optimizations that I added was DynamoDB. In DynamoDB, you have two modes. You have a provisioned mode and on-demand mode. So on-demand mode means that it is automatically scaling, and you don't need to think about how much read and write capacity you need, but it is more expensive. However, when you are doing development, having more expensive on-demand tables is beneficial for you because they are scaling to zero, and you don't need to pay anything for DynamoDB tables, which are not used like after hours, or maybe you have integration environment which is used from time to time before some kind of release or other types of work that you do. So over the years, I gathered a lot of this knowledge, and if it was possible, I included it in CloudPouch. And this is beneficial to my clients. This is also beneficial to me, because whenever I'm going to the client and doing cost optimization, I have this already implemented, and it saves me so much time because it is automated.
Yeah, the automation here is very important. And for those of you who would like to check how CloudPouch looks and how it works, go to cloudpouch.dev webpage, and then you can download this software. And important thing, that's one of the few, if not only one, application which is really standalone, right? And desktop application. So you don't need to have any other web service just to use this. And right now, we stop our discussion here in the video cast, and somewhere there is the link to the full interview. So let's jump there and enjoy the presentation, because now Paweł will do the demo. And just to give you the hint, let's jump to this, and you can see how CloudPouch looks on the beginning. And now we cut and see you in the other video then. All right, so the full interview with Paweł is available under the link. This link you can find in the description. So go there and watch the full interview with the demo of the CloudPouch application. And it's time to say goodbye, almost. So please, I really ask for this, because I really want to grow my channel. Hopefully it will happen in some time. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed what I've done, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment. I already asked a couple of things during the video which I'd like to see in the comments. And of course, subscribe to the channel, share the link, share the video with your friends, with your colleagues, and help me to build this channel. You can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me on GitHub, you can find me on YouTube, of course. I'm not using Twitter or X. For me it is Twitter, maybe because I have some Apple devices, and who knows, maybe Elon Musk will ban Apple devices to access X very soon. He has very interesting ideas in his mind, so who knows. Please remember that I have another podcast with Jan Mazurek, when we talk about IT from a little bit different perspective. So it is called Last Week in IT, which is a little bit of exaggeration, but anyway. My name is Pawel Zubkiewicz, and it was the second episode of DevOps in Agile Way videocast. Subscribe, like, comment, and see you next time. The second episode of DevOps in Agile Whale video. The second episode of DevOps in Agile Whale. Whale.